like say a murderer that might execute. That's not an innocent life. The babies are totally innocent lives. You know,
What happened?
I was saying some people in the audience they didn't say this, but in the past they've said that well you're for capital punishment, but I said that's not an innocent life. A baby is always innocent life.
Um, it's something where like I'm about saving lives. That's what I'm about. So it's just something where um, yeah, I'm big time on saving lives and protecting lives, and that's what my focus is on,
Mm-hmm.
especially at this season. And choose life, choose life.
Right,
Like
and it's an innocent life. It totally is.
totally is.
Yeah. Here's what a baby is. Oh, it didn't start. Wait a second.
For this child, I have prayed, and you heard my cry. For this.
It was only a few seconds. Sorry. Let me.
No, that's understandable, but
Yeah, that's for anyone that's debating that out there.
yeah, it's something else. And from conception, they already have their own unique genetic sequence. So, like that's part of what makes us humans. We have our own unique genetic code, and that's what babies have. And people say, well, it's like, well, it's not sentient. Well, what do you do then
That's the
with
word they
senile
use.
people? You know?
And some of them are for abortion like 3, 4, 5 years after birth because
Oh
they can't
my.
take care of themselves. I've
Yeah.
actually seen one of them say, well, they're not sentient when they're after they're born for the first year or two. He was debating. Have you ever had to debate this? You went to college, right? Or no?
I went to college. I remember one time I went
Do
to
you have this
my
debate in the
communications
college?
one. Hmm?
Do you ever have this debate in college with any of the leftists?
Big time, big time. I remember one time I was in my communications 102 class, and the professor, who under normal circumstances was very chill, she was listening to this guy who was telling, he was one of my fellow classmates, and he told a story about how he got a girl pregnant, basically, and how and he basically, insinuated that she had murdered her child. He didn't use those words, but it was basically
Right.
he kind of did it in an insinuated kind of way. And people in our class, a lot of them actually laughed. And I rose my hand, and the teacher called on me, and I started to talk about this is, a human being kind of thing. I was talking about that. And even though the guy himself, mind you, this is the same guy who got the woman pregnant, whose baby was murdered, he was chill with hearing me out. Okay. So he wasn't the one that was offended. But the professor immediately shut me down. I was not allowed to talk about that there. I tried 2 times, very respectfully, to say what needed to be said, and she just would not have it. And
Oh,
and it's just crazy.
they get triggered, don't they?
Oh, big time. She was like at the top of her lungs. I don't know if she murdered a child at some point in her life, but she was very adamant against this topic of the pro-life issue being brought up. It's something that she was very, just very adamant against, big time. And that's one of the reasons.
Aren't a lot of these college people very anti-God, anti-family, and a lot of the college
Big
professors?
time. They really are. Um, they're very much against anything that would stand in their way of their goals. Interestingly enough, it seems like atheism's kind of in decline these last couple of
Oh, is
years.
it?
It does seem like that increasingly.
I am seeing
Um,
more Christian revival type stuff going on.
Well, it's something where people debate as to whether or not Christianity is on the rise or not here in the United States. But what I will say is that um, atheism is in decline here in the United States. But regardless, even if 99% of people were atheists or something like that, that doesn't increase or decrease the possibility that the universe was created. Just the complexity. And I write about this on X, just about how complex the universe is, and just the probability of it being created itself. And I talk a lot about the issues that we've been talking about today, whether it be AI safety, whether it be saving lives inside the womb, whether it be preventing wars, which is a topic we haven't discussed so far, but I have to write about that as well. Science. I talk about a lot of thought-provoking topics as well. So if you want to get equipped with the knowledge, with the skill set to save lives, if you want to get involved, then that's a great way to not only help learn yourself, but also to help me by amplifying my voice. The more you like, repost, share, and follow, the more I'm able to get this message out to other people. So if
where can people find you?
I'm on X at Pro Abolition, as my name tag there says. You can also find me there at Cloud Hub. You can also look up the word Pro Abolition there, and also on Instagram. So those are great ways that you can find me. And I'm just very, I try to post very high quality content. And lately, especially, I've been trying to post unique content on each one of those platforms. So if you follow me on all three, you gain a lot through that. But if you can only follow me on one, if you only choose to follow me on one, I would say X. That's where the future of humanity itself is most rigorously debated. If someone posts something on X,
free speech there too,
Oh yeah, that's also that as well. So I'm less likely to get canceled there than I am on Instagram. Cloud Hub, I think, is also very chill, but X, I'm much more likely to stay on there. Cloud Hub has recently been shown to be more susceptible towards cybersecurity attacks, which, interestingly enough,
yeah, they took it down. They took it down. I used to get between 1 and 2 million views per video on that, and someone hacked it and they destroyed it. They had to rebuild it from scratch.
Yeah, it's
I had to start from zero again, from followers and all that.
Yeah, it's something where, like, if I decide to go on the cybersecurity route, because I'm leaning more towards artificial intelligence safety lately, but they both kind of overlap. So the skill set's applicable either way. But I might, if anyone here is from Cloud Hub, I'd be willing to consider a job there.
This isn't live on Cloud Hub right now. I used to do lives on there until they got taken down, but this will be replayed on Cloud Hub. So I'm going to have it up on there. Actually, I'm going to share the link over there later. So I might see some people. I only have like about 800 people following me there on Cloud Hub or something so far. I used to be millions. So I don't know. Until they took it down, I couldn't even figure out what's wrong. In fact, I got a picture. Let's see if I can find it here quick. From that, what they sent me or whatever about it being taken down. Did you see that or no? I'm trying to find it.
I was not using Cloud Hub as much when Elon Musk did his little maneuver to get X back. Not really get it back, but to take over X and make it more free speech once more. He, I kept posting more on X and everything. Back then, I had a pathetic number of following.
I don't know if you can see that. That's from Cloud Hub. And up in here, they're talking about how they were hacked and they destroyed their servers and all that kind of stuff. And they had to rebuild the whole platform from scratch. There was just no fixing it, they said. Can hackers really do it that much that they destroy their computers, really?
Oh, there's many ways in which a hacker can just go in. They can.
Well, they said it was a team of hackers, but yeah.
Yeah, if it's a team of hackers, they can do even more damage. They can go in. They can go in undetected. They can put ransomware, where the information is encrypted. Unless you pay them, then you end up basically in a situation where your information.
Well, no, they just didn't like the conservative message, I guess. Oh, here it is. Here's the part that it was. This platform, can you see that or not yet?
Barely.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll try to enlarge it. Platform experienced an unexpected distributive takedown. So they basically took them down. I don't read out loud that great anymore since my stroke. So they tried to restore the data from the old platform, and they weren't possible to do it, I guess. They couldn't even get the data back, I guess. So they had to start from scratch. They had to rewrite all the programs and everything too. So you can't go live there right now. So I don't know. Did you get this on Cloud Hub or no from them?
So what happened was I had to create a brand new account because mine didn't exist.
Same
I
here.
didn't know what was going on, so I had to make a new one.
Same here.
And, yeah, it's intense because I no longer have a verification badge there. But I'm on there again. Pro Abolitionist, where you can find me. I was talking about like ways that
they tried to shut us up, is what they're trying to do.
Oh, big time. I was speaking broadly speaking how cyber attacks work, but yeah, people can't do a lot of damage, which is yet another reason why we need more conservatives in the field of tech, is so that we can better prepare for these types of attacks. Because if like someone finds an exploit in the software before the people who own Cloud Hub, for example, do, then they can go in, they can start doing a lot of damage. A 0-day exploit is a huge find. Like people want to find ways that they can get into a system before the good guys do, and relatively speaking, when the people who are on the conservative side do, because that way they can go in and they can take them down. They've tried to do similar things on
Well,
X,
somehow they went in and trashed their hardware, their servers hardware. They trashed it somehow by hacking it. I didn't think they could do that, but maybe if you get into the BIOS and all that kind of stuff and the head of servers, I don't know. Maybe you know more about that than I do. I'm kind of a computer geek, but not to that level.
Well, from the looks of it, Cloud Hub hasn't released a full report as to exactly how they did it. There's many ways that you can damage a network of computers and servers. So there's not like one way that can be done. And oftentimes we may never know exactly how they did it. They may have just gone in, corrupted a bunch of the files, and just caused a lot of damage. And there's really no way of finding out what happened.
Well, my understanding is that they replace a lot of hardware. So it's my understanding from chatting with some other ones in message over there. So I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Maybe it's not true, but that's what they had heard. So in any case, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's just many ways that a cybersecurity attack can be conducted. But at the same time, on the flip side, there's many ways that a hacker can be found out. So if they do just one thing incorrectly, then their hands are caught red-handed. So it's just all the more the reason to just get involved. And not only that, but ways in which these kind of attacks, the damage that can be done, the ways that they can be mitigated against is by conducting network segmentation, where instead of having everything on just this very large network, and here I'm speaking in broad terms here when it comes to cybersecurity best practices, instead of having everything on the same network, have everything on different networks, so that if one of them goes down, everything is still good.
Many backup systems and this and that. And no bridge to get from one to the other, where if they attack one, they can get to the other one. There shouldn't be any bridge, I guess, right?
You want to ensure that lateral movement from one network to another is not possible when proper segmentation has been conducted. So the best way to do it is just by making sure that not everything is using the same Wi-Fi, just making sure that there's different routers and different things for all these different little networks, and having physical
and different passwords for each thing and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. It's sad just how many people reuse the same old passwords, or they have very simple
very similar ones.
Yeah, so, like password or something like that. Don't use the word, if you're watching this, don't use password as my password or something very simple.
Wasn't it someone on the left that did that? Use password as their password? Who is that on the left?
Not, there are people that use the word password or password 1234 as their password. No, you want to have a password that has like 3 or 4 words, a couple of random characters, some uppercase, some lowercase, an exclamation point, or some other kind of character that just makes it really difficult to guess. You know,
I'll tell you
very
something
nice.
off the air because I used to track and find ISIS people at one time. So I'll tell you something off the air about that on a good way to keep them from hacking you, you know, in terms of finding your password. So because there's software that they can see it, you know, with Wireshark and stuff like that, you know, in any case. But I'll tell you off the air. I can't say it on there and that.
That's
So
understandable.
yeah. This is a little bit more on the AI stuff Charlie Kirk was talking about. I believe this is the right video. I'm not positive.
Creep you guys out. This is totally fake. Be careful what you see. Play cut 541. Americans have every right to be, because it should have been done sooner. For the longest time, corporations have been allowed to price gouge on regulated industries like insurance. And now, because of this administration, every American has a right to go to this page and request a state-applied reduction to any auto insurance bill. The subsidy lowers your payment without any loss of coverage. All carriers have to comply, and if you're a U.S. citizen, go do it this week. What you just heard there was completely fake, made by AI, and it's tricking millions of people. Don't fall.
So someone made a false video of him doing that with AI. He didn't do that one, and they were scamming people.
Yeah, that's known as deepfakes. It's basically where one uses an AI in order to make someone create footage of someone saying something that they didn't actually say. That's something that's become a real thing. If we've been keeping track of that, it's gotten to the point where it's getting almost impossible, and may have already gotten there, where someone can recreate someone so accurately that it is impossible for someone to tell whether or not this video is genuine or not. So
it seems
it's
like
very
only
important.
AI is the only ones that can figure out that it is fake, you know?
Yeah, it might have I might have to look into this further after the show, but it may already have gotten to a point, or we might be getting close to a point where it is impossible for even an AI to tell whether or not the video is fake, because you know, as long as one is able to put the right pixels in the right place, one can make footage of anyone saying or doing anything. It's just a matter of mathematics. So it's something where it's just very important that we get careful, that we be very careful.
Is there any signature in the code that tells whether it's a live video or if it's coming from a computer generation?
What was that first part again?
Is there anything in the code that could be found that tells you whether it's a live video or if it's being generated by a computer?
Whether it's a live video or whether it's
like you and I are live right now, or if it's being generated, like we're not really here and it's being generated by a computer. Is there anything in the code, if they were to break down the code of the video, is there any differences in them?
Is there any differences? That's a good question. I don't know specifically, like all the, like I couldn't exactly give a deep dive into like every scenario, but what I can say is that you want to make sure that you're on the right page, you know. So like, for example, instead of logging into, let's say it was back in the day, just give a little analogy, instead of going to you know, I'll just use Facebook. Like, let's say instead of going to Facebook with an OUK .com, no, you want to make sure that's spelled correctly. When you go to a website, you want to make sure that it's spelled correctly. That way you don't get misled and just scammed out of your money or scammed out of your passwords, etc.
Yeah, there's redirects in some of those things too and stuff.
Yeah, right? Redirections can also happen as well. So you want to hover when you're on a computer. What you want to do is you want to hover over a link to make sure that's actually
the right link,
the correct link.
Yeah.
You also
the right URL comes up instead of, you know, it might look like it on the screen, such and such Facebook, but if you hover over it, it'll say what the actual link is.
What the actual address is, yeah. And there's that, and there's also the best practice of backing up your data, just making sure that you have everything backed up to flash drives, to have them in other places, so that if you can.
Yeah, I used to burn stuff to DVDs and stuff, you know, to save stuff.
Just save everything in different ways, because if your computer just gets hacked into, you know, you could lose like weeks, if not months worth of progress. And all it takes is just clicking on one wrong link. So it's just very important to just back up things, not click on malicious things, and be very careful, especially if people are asking you for money. If someone's asking you for money, you better be
there's a lot of
very
scams out there.
that you better be very certain that you're giving it to the right place, and make sure.
Sometimes they're fishing to get your information so they can use it to take out loans and stuff.
Oh yeah, big time. That can happen through phishing attacks, and also that can even happen to executive leaders. So people who get six-figure salaries,
and Congress people and officials. This is a story. It's a quick one about Marco Rubio. They thought they used AI to have him talk to foreign leaders. Did you hear about this one?
Not that instance specifically, but I have heard people try to replicate the,
Well, they got away with it. Believe it or not. Here's the story.
An investigation is underway this morning into how AI was used to impersonate Secretary of State Marco Rubio and who's responsible for it. The State Department alerting U.S. diplomats in an internal memo obtained by NBC News, saying the alleged AI Rubio imposter contacted at least 5 high-level government officials, including 3 foreign ministers, a U.S. governor, and a member of Congress. State Department officials say the actor likely aimed to manipulate targeted individuals using AI-generated text and voice messages, reportedly using this email address and leaving voicemails on the messaging app Signal.
Have you heard of this?
Not that instance specifically, but I have seen deep fakes of people trying to impersonate Obama and even Trump. So yeah, it's very important that we be careful what we watch these days, because that's become a thing. And
you think that the government would have so many safeguards against that they could tell that wasn't really him. That address looked official,
Yeah, it's just something where no human under the sun is infallible. So it's something where if we get elected into public office and we receive an email or something like that and we're not careful, and we can't be deceived. So it's just something that it's just very important that people be up to speed with best practices in cybersecurity, and just be very careful with who they're interacting with, and so forth. It's just very easy to get hoodwinked these days.
Have you ever been fooled by AI on anything?
AI on anything. Could you be more specific?
Well, anything that you thought was real and it turned out to be AI and you didn't know it, or even there's videos that are very realistic now.
They're very realistic. It's something where there have been instances. I think most, if not all of them, I knew beforehand that the video was going to be fake. So there's that. But we live in an age where if you were to play in front of me 10 videos and 5 of them were created by AI and 5 of them were created by humans, I'm pretty sure I would have a very difficult time determining which one's the real one and which one's the fake one, unless there was something. Yeah, unless there was some very little detail that got left out or something like that, I'm pretty sure I would fail miserably, just like everyone else. So it's very.
Me too. Is there any particular software that you recommend to help prevent against any of this stuff? A lot of people are doing the VPN things and stuff like that.
VPN has more to do with how
you're seeing
how one gets information from point A to point B without one
being seen on
their IP address.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Yeah, you being seen. What it basically does is bounces you around all over the web before it comes back to you, more than 40 stops. But that connection slows you down a little bit, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it slows you down because you have to communicate from point A to point B, and maybe even etc.
Before you go to China before it comes back, and then they'll artificially make it look like you're, say, in India, or when you're not, or something like that, right?
Yeah, it can appear to be that way. There are ways to detect whether or not someone's using a VPN, so just keep in mind, you're using a VPN. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're free to do crimes. Don't do crimes. That's the easiest way not to get caught, is to not make, not go about being lawless. I would say that. But yeah, it's something where when it comes to detecting deep fakes and so forth, there's very little that we can do about it right now. Like I said before, just be very careful. It's just be careful with what links you see, and also just be careful with what's circulating around the web. One thing that you can do to help out mitigate against this a little bit is to check multiple sources. Like, what is this person and that person saying about it? Because it could be that one part of the internet doesn't know what's going on. They genuinely think that Trump is pushing us to World War III. And he's saying that.
I think really he prevented it in a way.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, let's say someone were to create a deep fake of Trump and saying, I'm about to launch all these nukes at China, World War III is going to happen, and all these things, and there's a deep fake going on. Well, be careful. Is someone like, the Tucker Carlson News Network or Fox News, are they reporting on it? Are they saying, hey, red alert, there's a deep fake going on, don't buy into it. It could be that someone's generating a deep fake. This could also theoretically happen to other leaders like Newsom or AOC or all these things. Just be very careful with what's out there on the internet. Make sure that there's a verification badge if there's someone that's very influential. Let's say that Elon Musk, for example, he quote unquote followed you on X. You gotta be very careful. Like, wait a minute, does this have to check the official check mark on it and everything? Because chances are Elon Musk is not going to send you $1 million if you simply follow him and send him a direct message.
I know. It just some people are so gullible, it's ridiculous. So
it's sad, but that's the world that we live in.
Yeah, that's insane. If you ask me, I don't know. So somebody asked you about pro-life rallies. Have you got any coming up that you know of that are happening or?
That are happening.
Do you have any? Have you ever gone to pro-life rallies or speeches or?
Well, let's see. So up until more recently, I mean, you guess you couldn't tell just because like I'm sitting down right now. But up until more recently, I've been dealing with health problems in my right foot and so forth. So walking about and everything was very difficult. Up until a while back, I was moving about in a wheelchair and everything, and then I transitioned to using a cane with a wheelchair, and now I don't. I use the cane a little bit when I'm at home.
Did you have surgery or something?
No, I did not have surgery. I've done a lot of physical therapy to help out with my problems and so forth. And I'm not out of the woods yet, but it's been tough. It's been tough. But I have been doing a lot of stuff from home, and that's been helpful. I produced this little video. That's when I created. That's when I created a.
This is on your YouTube channel, right?
Huh?
This is your YouTube.
This is my YouTube channel. I created a Cloud Hub. This is where when I created Cloud Hub and Instagram accounts. But like I said before, if you can only follow me on one, follow me on X. But this was when I was. This was when I was brand new once again because Cloud Hub got taken down, and I made a video promoting my new page.
They censor you on YouTube, that you'll put stuff up there and hardly anyone can see it though, it happens a lot. So
yeah, it happens a lot. So
yeah, they ratio it, so all right, I'm gonna play it a little bit. You can talk during it if you wish.
Do you want to be a hero? Do you want to help save lives of human beings around the world? Hello everyone, I wanted to make the quick announcement that I'm now on Instagram and Cloud Hub.
Yep. I was going to back that up so everyone can catch your Instagram. What's the name here on Instagram?
Pro-abolition. So it's the same as on X. The only difference being the @ symbol's not there, which I don't think is applicable for Instagram.
Okay.
Announcement that I'm now on Instagram and Cloud Hub. You can find me there, Pro-abolition. Again, that's Pro-abolition. If for some reason you can't find me that way, just look up my name, Juan Andres Carrasco, and hope you guys can help me out because I'm on a mission to protect humanity from wars amongst humans. I'm trying to save the lives of preborn babies.
A lot of the wars is money laundering, like the whole Ukraine thing.
In other words, babies inside their mother's wombs. We gotta protect them. And by following me, you guys are able to amplify my voice and get equipped with the knowledge and skill set to save human lives. So feel free to follow me there on CloudHub, Instagram, Pro Abolition. I'm still on X. You can follow me there at Pro Abolition. I post regularly on X.
That's right.
Day. So do what you can to help me out. Ideally, follow me on all three. Yet if that doesn't work for you, follow me on at least one of those social media sites. So
Ideally, X.
the more you help, the bigger impact you will have. Thank you all for listening, and let's save human lives.
I agree, 100%.
Big
So,
time.
yeah.
Just so that people don't misunderstand, it's not that I've stopped using X. I'm actually planning on posting a thread. A thread is basically when you post one post after another.
General relativity allows black holes to rotate.
Trying to stop
The
this.
faster a black hole.
Sorry. Is
Yeah,
this
so
your channel?
huh?
Wisdom that matters.
Wisdom that matters. So yeah, so I'm planning. I'm posting more videos. I want to be reorganizing stuff soon. Posting new videos, taking down other ones, and the best content is yet to come. So if you go on there right now, it's not the channel's not
You're just
good,
starting out,
but it's gonna get better. I'm gonna be posting a lot more videos, and on X, I have a thread that I'm working on AI safety, and I have another one even on surviving a hypothetical T-Rex attack, just for the fun of it. You know, that's something that just you learn in an educational way. That's also fun as well while we're at it. I post polls there, and it's just something that I put a lot of work into over the years, especially these last couple of years since around the time that Elon Musk was going to take over and so forth. And I'm very humbled to report that I have over 300 followers, despite the fact that I'm only following 53 at the moment that we're recording.
Well, I don't have the blue check mark either, so I only have like a little over 5,000 there. You know, so I was more on Facebook and YouTube at one time, and then they banned me from both for a while. You know, until Trump came back in. So I was against the jab and all that kind of stuff at one time too. So they definitely didn't want you to have that on there. Too much pharma money in that, you know. So and all that. So do you think you'll ever run for office?
It depends on the situation. It's something that I'm open towards. Right now, I'm in a season of my life where by teaching other people how to be equipped with the knowledge to debate against homicide in the womb, by teaching people about AI safety and so forth, that can have a huge impact in the culture around us. Some of my posts on X get like thousands of views, some over 10,000. So it's just something where, despite the fact that I have a smaller platform, there are ways that one can get a boost. You know, if someone reposts what you do, or you post regularly, you can get momentum. And yeah, you know, definitely join me for the adventure. You know, like I'm on a mission to save lives. I'm on a mission to help people out. And you can learn a lot of stuff too along the way, and including the stuff that we've talked about in the past. I plan to write more about that in the future. You know, like concepts that we've covered here, like utility, function, instrumental goals, terminal goals, in the field of AI safety. And I even plan to write more about different concepts in AI safety, such as coachability and AI sandbagging. So you can learn a lot from join me.
The thing about running for office is you got to get some name recognition.
Oh yeah, that too. So yeah, so something where, like, if let's say I want to run for office or promote certain people that are running for office, name recognition is something that would be the next step forward. So whether it be that,
or Trump wouldn't have won back in 2016 if he wasn't well known. He could have the same opinions, but if he wasn't well known, he wouldn't have been able to stand up to the left, you know?
Yeah, the name recognition is very important. I'm not here to, endorse this person or that person, but it's definitely true that if you want to make an impact in the culture, you definitely want to be well known, work hard, and that's what I've been doing. Like regularly, I post something new, and
Well, you're in a state that you could probably win out there, being Utah, right?
Nevada.
Nevada. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Which
Yeah,
one?
no worries.
Nevada's kind of purple now. It's kind of half red.
Yeah, it's something where like
seems to be moving to the right a little bit.
Yeah, it seems a little bit. It's just because people have been turning out to vote more and stuff, and not only that, but one of the big reasons because the left has just moved so far to the left.
Yeah,
the
trans issue and everything else. Parents' rights. They're taking away parents' rights on a lot of things, right?
The thing is that they've moved so far to the left that it's getting harder for them to win. And not only that, but Governor Steve Sisolak, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He wasn't the best governor, so he just ended up being defeated by Governor Joe Lombardo. So it's just something where like one can win in theory if one lives in the right part of the state of Nevada.
Are you seeing Latinos start to move away from the left? I wouldn't say it's quite 50-50 yet, but it's getting closer to that.
It's getting closer to that, especially among men. I think a lot of it's just because we've been lied to so many times that little by little people have been waking up to what's been going on, and the radical left it's almost my prediction would be is that if Hispanics started voting, especially illegal immigrants started voting 80-20 for the Republican Party, they would want. I'm pretty sure they would want secure borders. Immediately they would be like, no, we gotta secure this and all that stuff.
The reason why a lot of the illegals coming in are voting for them, they're giving them free health care, free EBT cards and all that, free plane rides to the things, free hotels. In New York, they were putting them up at $700 a night for these hotels, and we're paying for it as tax dollars. There were billions of dollars they spent on that for in New York City because they wanted the Democrat voters. That's exactly. They wanted to have one party rule from now on. That's what they wanted.
And here's the thing: is that what I was gonna say.
I interrupted.
You don't want none of us should want the radical left to be in charge. But here's the thing: a lot of the people from Latin America, they come from socialist countries with socialist governments. They've never been exposed to a worldview where capitalism helps people out, where it accomplishes the stuff that is accomplished here for the U.S. Capitalism has actually lifted billions of people.
I should get you to go on Orbis.net. It's a Latino platform that's very conservative. Very, a lot of them came from socialist countries like Cuba and places like that. Orbis.net. I'll send you a link. So
thank you. I'll look into it.
Yeah, that's a Latino. It's like 60% Latino, conservative, very religious, very pro-life, pro-everything. So that's one of the platforms I'm going to restream this on. I was trying to stream it live there, but it didn't work when we restarted, so I had to restart it. But I'll replay this later tomorrow morning on that, and I'll send you a link from that. Okay.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I like to do my due diligence before I join something, but I'll keep an open mind, and
Yeah, it's kind of an upstart. The guy who owns it lives in Florida, and he's wrote his own software. He owns everything. Biden tried to get rid of him. They took away their data servers from him, so he has to host it up on Rumble Cloud as their data service. He owns his own server, his own software, everything, because Biden was trying to shut them down. They didn't want Latinos going conservative, in the Miami area, a lot of Latinos have gone conservative because they're from Cuba and they hate socialism, that in Venezuela, so.
From what I hear, there are a lot of conservative Hispanic people over in the state of Florida, and it's not just Cubans, from what I hear. It's just something where little by little things are changing, and it's just imperative that we make our voice heard now, and also that that we just be careful, because the left hasn't the woke have not gone away. Many times throughout history, it looked like Marxists were defeated or were heading in that direction, and they bounced back much stronger. So it's imperative that we be very careful. We take care of our institutions, and we do what we got, what must be done in a way that is ethical. We may not necessarily agree on everything, and there's certain things that that we might not be able to do, just because I believe this and you believe that. So we might not be necessarily starting a church together, but we can, form political coalitions to defeat the radical leftists and so forth. And sometimes you have to maneuver through the waters in a certain way, but I just try to be very ethical about the things that I do, and I try to be very loving, and try to explain things in a humble way when possible.
Yeah, I hear you. So if you get any left mental BS, yeah, you're right, Kirk. He says that left feeds everyone the mental BS. They're lying quite often when they get out there. They're talking about everyone's going to lose their health care and this and that, right? And they're lying. They're taking away the healthcare from the illegals, actually, is what's happening. And some people that were born 300 years ago that don't even exist, that kind of stuff. This is where they're losing healthcare. Do you see that there were some people that were getting money from Social Security and they aren't even born yet?
I have heard of that. I've heard
yeah.
of that. That's just,
well, there's
something else.
Some like 15 million or something getting services that are all bogus, so that's someone else probably that works at the agencies that are filling out those things or something and getting themselves some extra money or something like that. You never worked in government yourself, have you?
I've never worked in government. Let's see. That I'm aware of, no.
Did you ever work in government?
Did I ever work in government? That off the top of my head, I can't remember that. I've tried to get into government jobs in the past. That when I was at CSN, which I'm not, they ended up kicking me out because I was just not politically correct. To give a short answer, but
well, I know a lot of people that lost their jobs because they wouldn't take the jab that were in government. So
I had a club at CSN that was very conservative, and so I guess in that sense, I was involved with the government via the public school system. But aside from that, I can't think of much, if anything at all.
I can't drag that over. So someone posted a real good link. I'll share it to you later. Well, maybe I can do it another way. Hold on. Let me save the image as and then do it that way. Okay. I gotta close this somehow and then bring it up. So I don't know. I can see you running someday. Now in your family, are they starting to change over now? Or I asked you this before we went live, but
one of my family members is her thinking is more conservative leaning these days. But yeah.
Do they let you come to Christmas dinner and all that kind of stuff? Or
my family and I, my nuclear family, we're relatively close. We've been through a lot, and you can love people even when you disagree with them. And I try very hard to one degree or another to show my nuclear family members that I love them, that I care about them. And it's very important that we share our love with our friends, the people that we care about. And that sounds like a great idea for another thread on X. It's just about how to build leadership, how to build local communities, and so forth. This has been such a privilege and an honor. I was wondering if we could begin to wind it down about 5 minutes.
Closing argument and go for it.
Huh?
Your closing statement and we'll go.
Closing statement.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, life is sacred. That's what I've been trying to say throughout the entirety of this video, it's very important that we get involved, that we save lives. Don't be the kind of person who is just quiet when people are debating politics. Make your voice heard. There are times when you have to be wise. Like, you wouldn't just want to start talking to someone who has a gun with their hand and try to win them over. Then that might not be the best time to win them over. More likely than not, things could go wrongly. So there's some certain situations where you gotta be careful, but make yourself heard. There are 365 days in a year, and not one of those days is guaranteed. So while we're alive, let's make an impact. Let's take care of those whom love us. Let's help out humanity. Let's live lives with purpose, where we help other people out. If you're depressed, just know you're not going through this alone. There's so many other people out there that are going what you're going through. And if you overcome this, and you can, by the way, then you can help other people also. And we can live lives with so much value and so much, and just do so much for the world. And any moral support that people can give me and help, and all the suggestions that I've given, by the way, are absolutely free, mind you. Like, by helping me, I can help others also. And even if you decide not to follow me, definitely live a life that's worth living, where you take care of others. But I would also add, and this is the final thing, is just remember the importance of resting. We're not machines. Take time with your family and with your friends to hang out and just live a happy life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Well, it was a pleasure having you on. I'm going to end this. Hang around though for another minute or two. Okay. All right. Thank you. God bless everyone. Take care. Bye bye. Hold on. I'm going to end it on a couple